Hi, hello. Today we will see about validations in Angular forms. So earlier we have developed this form, and whenever user is entering irrelevant information, our form or any of the front end application should be in a position to validate. So this form is a plain old form, and no validations when we are submitting, no validations are happening. So that one we will see. So basically we need to understand what are all the validations in Angular form. So in Angular forms, validations are two types. One is a template driven, another validation type is reactive form validation. So based on these two validations, we can develop. And template driven validations are very minimal basic validations. Reactive form validations are somewhat complicated, and it will allow customization and some complex validations. But template driven are very simple basic validations we can say. So based on the need, if you are going to develop a basic validations, you can choose template driven. If you are going to define some customization and complicated one, you can define as a reactive form validations. So let us see template driven. So template driven, so whenever you are going to write some validations, you can start from the HTML file. So you have defined the form, and there it is a form and class will be there. So far we have seen form and class, and newly things we are adding here is a form group equal to submit form and ng submit whenever form is submitted, and this ng submit equal to on sign up. And these two things, form group and on sign up, we are going to define in the .ts file. So step 1 you have to define like this, and step 2 you have to define like you are going to define the step 2 is a username. So username, how you are going to define username, that is a label name, and preceding after that text box will be there. So for representing name, we can use the label for equal to username, and username is the label name. And then text box, so for defining the text box, what we are defining, input type equal to text, input type. So here you can see text, so text box, that one. So that is the reason input type equal to text, and class is a form control. These are the repeated, and id value we can maintain. So up to now we know about this. And here what we are newly introducing for validations is key up equal to change value. This is one method. And form control name equal to username. This is the one control name, because username, so id name username, and form control name also username. And the newly thing is a change value. So that means user is just pressing that value, but he is not changing any value. In that case, that value will be, should be in a position false only. So this one. And validations, so validation purpose, we need to use a star ngf syntax. You need to use ngf equal to submit form dot get username. So again I am taking submit form, because we have defined this one as the submit form. So this naming convention and this naming convention should be same. And this submit name form dot get of username, so username it would be verified, and question mark dot has error. If any error is there, suppose user is not entered any value, then it is a required, and submitted will become as a true. If user is entered value, then submitted will become as a true. That is boolean type. This value also submitted also we are going to define in the .ts file. So step 1 is this one, step 2 is this one. And class alert danger. This is a bootstrap class. So alert danger, that means it will come as a red color, that font color as a red color. And username is required, so it will indicate whenever user is submitted. Then if user is not entering any value, then user trying to submit means username is required, that text will come as a red color. So that is the reason bootstrap is giving the class name as alert danger. So next one is and similarly you are having three fields: username, email, and password. So email also you have to define same way, you have to define, and password also you have to define same way. And for user email purpose, one extra tag will be added, that is a email. So in step 4 we can see, before step 4, so in .ts file it will come here.Efore that, step 3, what it is happening: button class, button lg, button primary, button block. This is a bootstrap class, and type submit. When you submit, it would be going to the step 1 and on sign up and submit form. So here it will come immediately step 4, so submit form. This one we need to define in the .ts file: submit form exclamatory and colon form group. And we told that submitted, it would be a boolean type and it should be false. Initially it should be false, because this submitted, again we are coming from the first one, so whether we submitted or not. So here on sign up it will submit. So for that purpose we need to initialize submitted boolean equal to false, always false. When we submit it, then it will become as a true, means again we will make it submitted as a true. So step 5, so constructor we need to define form builder as a form builder. This one we need to define, because we are doing as the validations in this only form builder. Form builder will be supporting for the object creation, because each object is having multiple attributes like object name, object email, object address, whatsoever the attributes are. So since we are going to create objects in constructor, we need to define as the form builder. And step 6, so ng on in it, what we have to define. So here object, whatever the properties we are going to there, those properties we need to evaluate. So in our form, what are the properties? Username, email, and password. So those we need to validate. So Angular is providing one validators. So using validators we can say required. So based on the certain length, so as I told, template driven or simple validations. So username should be minimum 3 characters. Suppose if user is entering 1 or 2 or more than that, so user need to enter minimum 3, maximum 14 or something. Based on our length we can define, that is the purpose. So this dot submit form, so this form group, submit form is from the form group. So submit form equal to this dot form builder from the form builder, and form builder comes from the group. Inside group we are defining username and new form control. We are creating one object. So whenever we are creating form control, so we have to define like each attribute. So validators dot required, and validators minimum length 3, and email validators dot required. So email also required to fill, and validators dot email means if user is not entered proper valid email, then it will say proper please enter valid email. And password, so password also minimum 3 length character it should be defined. So step 7, on sign up method. So on sign up method we have defined in very first step. So if you can go to the first step, on sign up, this is the method we need to define in the .ts file. So .ts file, once we submitted, then that form has filled all the values, username is entered, email properly entered, and password entered, then we have to make that this dot submitted equal to true. So we have defined as this dot submitted equal to true. Next, this dot submit form dot marks all as touched, means all as touched means it should say like user first name that is entered, then that field has been touched, and user password, that field has been touched, and email, so user entered as that email also, that means all the fields has been touched. So we have to use this dot submit form dot marks all has touched. Next, last value, change value. Suppose user not entered any value, then it should become as a false only. If user has entered all the values properly, then this dot submitted becomes true. If user just simply visited that field and not entered any value, then that should become as a false. So like this we have to do validations for template driven 8 steps. We have to do the validations. So we can do so same way we can practice practically, then we will see how we can validate practically.